You mentioned the Mexican War and the Civil War. What role did the Presidio play during the Civil War?
Civil War itself, it was a staging area for troops. Number one, as I had mentioned, the Navy is there kind of to do some of the protection, but there is Fort Point, there is Alcatraz with its citadel, which is it was almost like a feudal, uh, something that you would see in Scotland on an island, protect from the Normans attacking or what have you. And so it had that role to protect the Bay Area along with coordinating with the naval forces, but it was a staging and training area. So many troops would form there, including a group of individuals who became a cavalry unit that would be dispersed, the California 100, that would be dispersed to the west or east coast to fight in the Civil War. But some of these troops are also there to backfill because the Army had very few regular Army troops today at that time in California. And so they had to backfill with what would be commensurate to today's National Guard. There was really no National Guard in the same sense. There were these volunteer units that were similar. So those would form there, and they would use San Francisco to gear up, bring in the equipment from Benicia, the arsenal, train these individuals and disperse them, and not only in for other areas that had to be backfilled, like Arizona, where the California column would come in, but also in Northern California, where there was still the threat to the Americans at that time of a Native American uprising and ultimately the lava beds of the early 1870s. And the Modoc people would kind of be the death song of any possible resistance that would threaten in California. But there was that fear to send out troops to keep the Native Americans from arising, and internal subversion from people who were Asbury Harbinding and others who would be supposedly Confederate underlings who were there to subvert the government. So they supposedly kept the lid on and did disperse troops to other areas that had been abandoned by U.S. regular Army forces that went to the east. So there was really the only regulars per se were the artillerymen who garrisoned those forts that had remained behind, again, to protect from a Confederate attack. And not only a Confederate attack from sea, but perhaps an internal Confederate uprising in San Francisco by these subversive forces that really didn't exist. But it made for a good story, and everybody got their promotion that way by staying there and governing. Because in war, there's opportunity for many people. So,
Right.